CyberHub bunker and studio. You're tuning in to the CyberHub Podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Good morning, party people, and welcome to another great episode of the CyberHub Podcast. We're broadcasting live from Israel. Yesterday, we had an issue with the broadcast. We couldn't post it. There was a bunch of different challenges that I've experienced here, including, like a 20-hour more round trip than I had expected. But it's great to be here. Awesome time. I've had some great meetings with some awesome cybersecurity people while I've been here thus far, and I can't wait for the next few days as we do a bunch more of those. So great show coming today. Good morning to everyone over on the East Coast and West Coast of the great United States of America. Let's get into today's show. But before we do that, a shout out to KnowBe4 for their support of our program. You can see more about them in the show notes. Also, to today's show, very, very kind of, let's get into the things because we've missed so much, right? And I want to get this all squared away today. A lot of stuff going on over the weekend. We're going to focus on some of the bigger and more complex stories in the world of cybersecurity today. So let's get into that. Coffee cup cheers will be saved for tomorrow because I've got a special thing coming tomorrow. So don't go anywhere. Let's get into that one. First of all, F5 is investigating reports of the NGINX zero-day vulnerability. This is a Monday evening blog release by NGINX about the issue, writing that it only affects reference implementation, doesn't really affect open source or NGINX Plus. The company said the deployment of the LDAP reference implementations are affected by vulnerabilities if command line parameters are not used to configure a Python daemon, if there are unused optional config parameters, and if LDAP authentication depends on specific group memberships. There's specific mitigations for all three instances. This issue came to light Saturday when a Twitter user connected to the group called Blue Hornet tweeted about an experimental exploit for NGINX 1.18. They've been testing it. A handful of companies have fallen for it. The group explained that the exploit has two stages and starts with an LDAP injection. LDAP stands for Lightweight Directory Access Control Protocols, and LDAP injection is an attack used to exploit web-based applications that construct LDAP statements based on user input. Blue Hornet said they would share the issue with the NGINX security team through a bug bounty firm HackerOne or their internal platform. The group later created a GitHub page where they explained in detail how they discovered the issue and how it actually works. We had been given, according to Brazen Eagle and then their sister group, at least since Spring4Shell came out, they've been looking at exploits, and they were initially confused as LDAP really doesn't interact much with NGINX. However, there is an LDAP auth daemon used alongside the NGINX, which allows for this to actually be used. And so it's one thing over the other. It's a exploit that's being investigated. There are mitigation controls if you're using it. Go make sure you get those done. It's nothing but good hygiene. Chrome 100 updates patches for high-severity vulnerabilities. So the latest Chrome update is out there with 10 of the addressed vulnerabilities were reported by external researchers. Of these, 8 are rated high severity and 2 are medium. 6 of the externally reported security holes are used after free bugs, which in some cases can lead to code execution. 5 of them have a severity rating of high. So update your Chrome browsers. If you're in the world of banking, an Android banking malware is now intercepting calls to customer support. A banking Trojan for Android that researchers call fake calls comes with a powerful capability that enables it to take over calls to a bank customer support number and connect the victim directly with the cyber criminals operating the malware. Disguised as a mobile app from a popular bank, fake calls displays all the marks of the entity it impersonates, including the official logo and customer support number. When the victim tries to call the bank, the malware breaks the connection and shows its call screen, which is almost indistinguishable from the real one. While the victim sees the bank real number on the screen, the connection is to the cyber criminals who can pose as the bank customer support representatives, obtain details that would give them access to the victim's funds. Fake calls mobile banking Trojans can do this because at the moment of installation, it asks for several permissions that give it access to the contact list, mic, camera, geolocation, and call handling. So much of that is going on. The malware emerged last year and has been seen targeting users in South Korea. Customers of popular banks like Kakao Bank or Kukimin Bank, according to Kaspersky, have all been victims of this. Kaspersky analyzed the malware, found it can also play a pre-recorded message that mimics the ones typically heard by banks to greet customers and looking for support. Again, the fact that this has been used in South Korea, you can see it soon hit the US and Europe with people looking to take advantage of this type of malware. So it's critical to really be monitoring the Google Play Store and what you're using it for as well. Over 16,500 sites have been hacked to distribute malware via a web redirect service. A new traffic direction system, TDS, called Parrot, has been spotted leveraging tens of thousands of compromised websites to launch further malicious campaign. The TDS has infected various web servers hosting more than 16,500 websites, ranging from adult content, personal websites, university sites, and even local government websites, according to Avast researchers Pavel Novak and Jan Rubin in the report published last week. Traffic direction systems are used by threat actors to determine whether or not a target is of interest and should be redirected to a malicious domain under their control and act as a gateway to compromise their systems with malware as well. Earlier this January, the BlackBerry research and intel team detailed another TDS called Prometheus that has been put to use in different campaigns mounted by cyber criminals, from groups to Campo Loader, IcedID, QBot, and so many others. So the Parrot TDS stands out because of its huge reach, with increased activity observed in February and March of this year, as its operators have primarily singled out servers hosting poorly secured WordPress site to gain admin access. A lot of these malicious redirects are located in Brazil, India, US, Singapore, Indonesia, Argentina, France, Mexico, Pakistan, and Russia. Notice one absent country there, China. So keep your eyes out for this one and make sure you're really tracking your online web traffic. CISA is now telling orgs to patch the WatchGuard flaw that's been exploited for months before disclosure. The CISA has given federal agencies 3 weeks to patch the WatchGuard firewall vulnerability exploited in attacks linked to Russian state-sponsored threat actors. While the U.S. government has known about this exploit of the flaw for several months, federal agencies are just now being told to patch it. In fact, some experts believe the entire disclosure process surrounding this vulnerability was poorly handled. The existence of the vulnerability affecting WatchGuard firewalls came to light on February 23rd when government agencies in the US and UK revealed that a threat actor known as Sandworm, APT28, and Fancy Bear, which has been previously linked to Russia, have been using a piece of malware named Cyclops Blink. So you want to get that patched. If the federal government's asking you to patch it, then we sure as heck should be patching it in our own environments as well. Folks, that's it for our show today. We'll be back with a lot more tomorrow to cover and what's going on, as well as a really nice, smooth espresso that I'll be sharing with all of y'all. So until then, have a great, great rest of your day. And most importantly, stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.